For more than 3,300 years, the death of Tutankhamun remained one of history's most puzzling mysteries. Ancient scrolls did not record how he died. No priest, no royal scribe, no tomb carving mentioned the cause of death of the young pharaoh. It was as if someone wanted the truth to stay hidden forever. But time has changed. Today, modern science has the power to speak to the dead. This is the story of how experts, doctors, and scientists around the world tried to answer a single haunting question. How did King Tut die at only 19 years old? The scientific investigation began with something that had never been done before. In January 2005, inside the Valley of the Kings, a team of Egyptian and international scientists prepared to scan the mummy of Tutankhamun. For the first time, a pharaoh's body would be examined using a full medical CT scan, the same technology used in hospitals to study living patients. It was midnight. The desert was silent. A special mobile scanning machine, costing millions, had been brought to the tomb. The mummy of Tutankhamun, still fragile and wrapped, was carefully transported from his chamber and placed into the machine. As the scan began, thousands of X-ray images started building a digital 3D model of Tutankhamun's body, bone by bone, tissue by tissue. The world waited. Because this scan, scientists believed, could finally reveal what happened to the boy king. Before the scan results came in, many theories existed about Tutankhamun's death. Some people believed he had been murdered. Others thought he had died in a battle or chariot accident. Some believed an illness or disease ended his life. For decades, there was one theory that caught the world's attention. A rumor that Tutankhamun had been hit on the head, possibly assassinated. When his mummy was first examined in the 1920s, an injury at the back of his skull was discovered. Many experts thought someone close to the king, maybe a royal advisor, a general, or even a family member, had struck him on the head to gain power. The murder theory became popular in TV shows, books, and documentaries. It created an image of a royal conspiracy inside the palace. A teenage pharaoh, inexperienced and vulnerable, surrounded by powerful adults who may have wanted the throne for themselves. But was it true? The 2005 scan would challenge everything. As scientists studied the CT scan images, they noticed something surprising. The supposed head injury looked different than earlier believed. The cut inside the skull did not have signs of healing or trauma from life. Instead, it seemed to have been made after death, during the mummification process. In ancient Egypt, priests removed the brain through the nose and treated the skull with oils and resins. This could explain the marks. For the first time, experts began to accept that Tutankhamun was not killed by a blow to the head. If it wasn't assassination, what was it? The scan continued to reveal more details about the young pharaoh's body. One of the most important findings was in Tutankhamun's left leg. The scan showed a serious fracture in the thigh bone, just above the knee. The break was severe. Even more shocking, there were signs that the injury happened shortly before death. This was not a small injury. It would have caused intense pain, heavy bleeding, and a high risk of infection. Suddenly, a new theory formed. Did King Tut die from a broken leg? If the wound got infected, bacteria could have spread through his body, leading to death. But another question appeared. How did he break his leg? Some experts suggested a possible chariot accident. Tutankhamun was known to enjoy hunting and driving chariots. Ancient paintings on the walls of his tomb show him riding horses, holding bows, and acting as a warrior king, even if those images were idealized. Others believed he may have fallen or been injured during a ceremony or sport. But there was a problem with the chariot crash idea. The injury on his leg did not match a typical high-speed crash pattern. So the mystery continued. The CT scan also revealed something unexpected. Tutankhamun's foot was deformed. His left foot had a condition where the bone turned inward, known today as club foot. This meant he likely had difficulty walking normally. Inside his tomb, more than 130 walking sticks and canes were found. Why would a healthy teenage king need so many? The evidence suggested something that changed the image of King Tut forever. This young pharaoh was probably not physically strong. He may not have been a warrior king who led armies into battle. Instead, he may have been weak, struggling to walk, and possibly in constant pain. This matched something else the scan revealed: Tutankhamun had physical problems that were not random. They were likely genetic. And that discovery would open the door to a darker truth about his family. Because to understand Tutankhamun's death, scientists first had to understand his DNA and the DNA of the royal bloodline he came from. The CT scan had revealed one side of the mystery, the physical injuries. But to truly understand Tutankhamun's death, scientists needed to look deeper into his blood, his genes, and his family history. In 2010, a new international research project began, the Tutankhamun Family DNA Study. For the first time in history, scientists extracted DNA not only from Tutankhamun, but also from the mummies believed to be his relatives, his parents, grandparents, and ancestors of the 18th dynasty. It was one of the most complex ancient DNA studies ever attempted. Under highly controlled conditions, inside a special sterile lab in Cairo's Egyptian Museum, samples were taken from Tutankhamun's bones. Every tool was sterilized, every step filmed, and every result tested multiple times. The goal was simple, yet groundbreaking. Could DNA explain the king's health and his death? When the results came in, they shook the world of Egyptology. The DNA revealed that Tutankhamun's parents were not just from the same royal family. They were brother and sister. For centuries, royal families of Egypt married within the family to keep the bloodline pure. But this came with a cost: a high risk of genetic disorders and inherited diseases. Suddenly, the puzzle pieces began to fit. Tutankhamun's weak bones, his club foot, and his thin, fragile body, these may have come from genetic problems caused by inbreeding. The boy king was never truly healthy. The golden pharaoh of Egypt may have suffered quietly all his life. But DNA revealed something else, something more deadly. Along with genetic disease, scientists found traces of malaria parasites in Tutankhamun's tissue. This meant that during his last days, the teenage king was not only injured, he was also fighting a severe malaria infection, a dangerous and often deadly disease at that time. Imagine the scene. A young king, already weak from genetic illness, develops malaria, high fever, exhaustion, chills, weakness. Then, possibly around the same time, he suffers a major leg injury. His body, already fragile, could not fight both. This combination, a broken leg, infection, and malaria, could have led to a painful and rapid decline. Still, the investigation was not over. Some scientists believed more evidence was hiding inside Tutankhamun's tomb itself, not in his body, but in the objects buried with him. Among the treasures was an unusual item, a ceremonial shield that showed Tutankhamun not in victory, but sitting, weak, using a cane. Was this a secret message? A quiet admission from his artists that the king could not stand or fight? There were also many jars of special oils and medicines buried with him, more than usual for a pharaoh. This suggested that the king required treatments, perhaps for chronic pain or recurring illness. Even the sandals found in his tomb were custom-shaped, built to fit a deformed foot. Every clue pointed to the same truth. The Golden King's life was not filled with strength and glory. It was filled with illness, pain, and physical struggle. Then, researchers discovered something else, evidence of necrosis, the dying of body tissue near Tutankhamun's leg injury. If the wound became infected, bacteria could have spread into his blood, leading to septicemia, a deadly blood infection. For a weak body, that would have been impossible to survive. At last, the scientific picture of Tutankhamun's death came together. Genetic diseases weakened his body. A severe malaria infection attacked his immune system. A major leg fracture, likely from an accident, became infected. The infection spread, leading to his early death at around 19 years old. Not murder. Not assassination. Not a blow to the head. But a tragic combination of biology, disease, and misfortune. Narrator, emotional, reflective tone. It is almost heartbreaking to imagine. A boy who inherited the throne of the most powerful civilization on earth, worshipped as a living god, surrounded by gold, a kingdom at his feet, yet unable to escape the weakness in his own body. For thousands of years, people imagined Tutankhamun as a strong young warrior king. But science has revealed a more human story. A story of a boy who struggled to walk, who lived with pain, who perhaps dreamed of being the king he was expected to be, but whose own body would not allow it. And this truth makes his legend even more powerful. Because Tutankhamun was not remembered for his victories, his wars, or his achievements. He was remembered because his tomb remained untouched and because the world finally met him, face to face, in the modern age. His life was short. His reign was brief. But his legacy became eternal.